Okay, so we look at Assassin's Creed 2 at 21:9. Now this is a classic, the game that started one of the biggest franchises to date in gaming, and it's as superb as ever to play through. That said, playing at 21:9 is both easy and plagued with one big frustration, but I'll explain it all as I go on. So fantastically, the game natively supports ultra-wide resolutions, showing off more on the sides of the screen during gameplay. Unfortunately, the HUD is, however, stuck to 16:9, but there aren't any pop-in issues or anything with the extra screen space, which is lovely. Natively, the main menu is 16:9 with black bars, however the in-game menus all fill the entire screen space correctly, with the background screen filling the extra screen space, but the menu elements all still stick to 16:9. Though in cases where they move about or extend further to the sides, like the DNA sequence, they correctly display on the extra screen space. And this holds true even for things like the puzzle-solving stuff with the shattered black shards in the background. Now, sadly the map is limited to a 16:9 box, so there's no extra view here, but at least the background is filled with the animus lines stuff, and it's not black barred. And finally, when damaged, the entire screen space is used, and this applies to all screen effects. Now the big issue, the one thing causing me so much angst when covering this game, cutscenes are 16:9 with black bars in just about every moment. There are occasional short moments where a few preset actions will occur at full screen, but the main cutscenes are all 16:9 with black bars, like I said, and it's frustrating because they are rendered in game, so they could easily be extended to show off more on the sides. Anyway, there is a fix to make them ultra wide, but there is a catch, a damned annoying one that is killing me, and I just can't work out how to sort it. So when using the fix, it redirects the game to read from a different save file, which means you lose all of your current progress. Well, it won't be lost, it'll be saved where it originally was saved, but in the new save location, it's going to use the new save file that came with the mod. And I've tried everything. I've tried moving my real save file to read instead of the mod one, and just everything I can imagine. I've looked up online how to do it, and I just can't get it to work. And my main thing is I just can't be bothered to restart the game from scratch just for a 21:9 cutscene fix, I'm afraid. But it may be totally fine for those of you with no progress yet, as it does look great, so you might as well do the fix if you haven't started. But for the rest of you, yeah, I'm at a loss. I should say as well, the fix not only sorts out the cutscenes, but as a result, the main menu is 21:9, and you no longer get that terribly long fade effect of the side black bars disappearing after being in a 16:9 sequence, and then transitioning to ultra-wide gameplay. Anyway, I'll put full details as to how to do the mod in the description regardless, and if I indeed find a fix for the save game issue, like if someone comments down below with a fix, then I'll update the description with the relevant information, so be sure to keep an eye on that. I should also bring your attention to the fact that it seems the game will not be able to save your save file to the cloud with the mod installed, and after you quit the game, the usual Uplay save pop-up box will just never disappear, and you'll just have to manually close it, so just be aware of that. But that said, I believe credit goes once again to the great Jack Foost for the fix. Now another big issue with the game is the controller is all screwed up as the triggers refuse to be registered. Happily, all you need to do though is download the links in the description and it works perfectly. A point to note, regardless of your Windows version, it seems best to use the non-Windows 10 version. I'm running 10 and the Windows 10 specific one didn't work. And yeah, just download the two files and drag them into the game folder and the game will use your controller perfectly. Again, full instructions in the description. It does mean you can't rebind any keys in the options menu, but honestly, it's set up perfectly in my opinion. You might also find every time you load up the game, the controller might not be working, so you just need to go into the controls options and change them from keyboard to Xbox controller, and then you can control the game once again with the controller. Performance-wise, things aren't fantastic. So the game is locked to 60 FPS, the first of a number of gripes here. It doesn't lock at 60 fantastically well either, dipping occasionally below for no reason, especially when panning around. And it did at one play session have FPS dipping so hard and so often that I had to restart my computer in order to play the game and have the FPS stop dipping quite so much. And no, it wasn't other programs affecting that FPS, it just seems to be really poor optimization, I'm afraid, here. I tried my best to find a fix to remove the 60 FPS cap, but there doesn't seem to be anything around, and I just kept running into old school posts about how the human eye can't see above 60 FPS anyway, so why bother? You should also have noticed the very stuttery shadows the game has. As they move around, they seem to be running at like 10 FPS, which is really obvious. The game's draw distance is also terrible. You'll constantly be watching stuff pop in as you run about. And yeah, again, there's no fix for this. And this kind of goes hand in hand with it. The general glitchiness of the game, it just brings in a lot of awkward moments, or just stuff not really quite looking and working quite right. However, it's nothing game-breaking, nothing crashing the game, and I'd put a lot of it down just simply to the game's age. Now, when using the map, you'll be subjected to, for absolutely no comprehensible reason, a map that is running at about 5 FPS. So you stutter all around as you pan around. Luckily, you aren't on them for long. Lastly of note, you can't skip cutscenes, which is forever frustrating when you're replaying the game and you know a cutscene and you just don't want to have to watch it completely again. So as I said, this is Assassin's Creed 2. Need I say much more on why it's so amazing? It starts off the long war of us following the Assassins versus Templars, and with its even brilliant gameplay by today's standards, even if it does feel stiff at times compared to the newer games, it works so well. The fighting is very solid and satisfying, if a little easy, but again, that's Assassin's Creed for you really. Yes, there are typical slow, follow this character at a snail's pace missions, but honestly, these things were created by this game. It doesn't copy old games, it's the newer games that should have changed and developed these flaws, so I don't really blame this title for them. The music is truly exceptional, and the world, whilst graphically a mile behind current titles, still allows you to sink yourself into the world and its story of spying, betrayal, death, love, and survival. It's a must-play for anyone who likes the series. I'm going to base my WideAsFcuk score off the version of the game with the mod installed, even though I know it will not be for everyone like myself because of the, well, as far as I'm currently aware, need to restart your story progress. But yeah, it represents the potential to play the game as best as you can at 21:9, and that allows me to give it a WideAsFcuk score of 4. Only really the limitation of HUD elements to 16:9 actually pulls this game back. It's totally worth playing at 21:9. I hope that gives you some information on how the game runs at 21:9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any other games at 21:9, head over to my channel. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, the link's to my Patreon page in the description. See you later.
Yes, I think I got away. Run faster! Leave me alone! He's not going to get me. I have to find a way out. It's me. Leave me alone! Hang on, signore. I'm moving as fast as I can. Mio Dio! Run! 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 Francesco de Pan!
I'm more than capable of this. I not forget how to live.
Rientratevi, signore. Conserve your energy, or I'll be delivering a corpse. We're almost there.
I'm more than capable of this.
I want no part of this! I'm with you!
I've not forgotten.
Ollie.
He's a killer. Salvatemi, salvatemi!